Here's where we left off in part 1 of modeling this eye scanner. We still have quite a bit to do, so let's get busy for this thing. I'm going to come up to the top here, and in face selection I'm going to select there, and I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there, and I'm going to bring in a cylinder. I'm going to leave it at the default values and scale it down, and look from the front again. And I'm going to slide it over, and really all I want is a hole for the post that would come off of this. There's just a little cylinder in there. So I'm going to push that in, Alt-N, recalculate outside, just make sure, although it should have been fine anyhow. So my 3D cursor is right there in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and apply a mirror, or at least put a mirror on. I'm going to select the main body, and Boolean, and drag it to the top. It's on difference. With the eyedropper, choose that. I'm going to apply that and take these and just hide them. So I've got a hole here. I'm going to make it more of a hole by deleting this bottom face, so it goes right inside. And then 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click. Make sure I got the whole circle there. I think I do. And same over here. And I'm going to Control B and bevel. 1, 2, 3. So we have those. Alt H to bring those things back, and look at them here. And let's go in, grab this face, and I'm going to pull it down to somewhere around there. E and S, and come out. E and extrude up to the top like that. I'm going to go into wireframe, and I'm going to put an edge loop there, and Control B and pull bow mark to 0. I'm holding down Shift to move a bit slower. I'm going to make that space in the middle. I'm going to press E and Alt S and pull it in a little bit. Now let's go back into solid view. All right, I'm going to take the top and simply bevel like this, and put a couple segments. I'll put a subdivision on this. Now I'm going to take this edge and this edge, and I'm going to bevel that like that. I'll try a subdivision now. Control 1, shade smooth. I'm going to come back in here, drag an edge loop up to the top and to the bottom. Moving a bit slow because of my screen recording software. So what I'll do is I will turn off the subdivision for the moment. Slash key to focus just on that. In fact, I'll take off the mirror. Focus just on that. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to bevel the bottom here like that, and I'll bring an edge loop down here, and I'll get rid of that bottom face. Turn that back on and have a look. It should be okay. Alright, now I want to come in here and Shift Alt and click there. I want to select there and bring my 3D cursor there. I'm going to bring in a circle, and I'm going to make this 64 vertices. And scale it in so it fits inside that little space there. And I'll pull it down, and then I'm going to extrude it up like that. And then in edge selection, Shift Alt and click there, E and S, and just pull it in. E and S, and just pull it in. And grab both of these and have a small bevel there. I'll just put 1. Alright, let's shade smooth that. I'm going to select everything and Alt-N, recalculate outside. I'm going to come back in here, and in face selection I just press number 3. Shift Alt and click there, and I'm going to press I twice, so I have little spaces like that. E and Alt S and pull, no push, so it comes out. I'll make sure that I recalculate outside, and I'm going to add a bevel and see if I can get away with just 1. Alright, let's bring everything back. Alright, I get that. Let's turn the mirror back on for that. And this thing, I'm going to, let's select, let's see, it's probably central, so I'll try that. Set the origin to the 3D cursor and mirror. Yeah, and we got both of those on there. So we have some kind of turning knobs there with a hint of a hole. All right, cool. Let's go on and do something easy. Let's just get the bolts out of the way real fast. 3D cursors, that's probably okay. Let's bring in a circle. Let's make it 6. So these are just really simple. I've done these once before. Rotate X 90, pull it to the front. Okay, let's rotate Y 90. Scale it down. Position it somewhere in that area. And we'll look in wireframe. It's not going to be exactly the same as the diagram. I don't want it to be too close to that edge. We'll start it off there though. Okay, I have to make no, I won't do that. I'll E and S will come in like this. E and extrude and come out, and F. Shift Alt and click there, E, and bring it back. We're definitely going to have to flip those like that, and then Shift Alt and click the edges. And the top edge and the bottom edge. I can even, man, I'll do that one next. Control B and pull. And I just want to roll back to 0 and then add 1. And this one I just wanted a slightly smaller bevel like that. Okay. Shade smooth, but we're going to need to put on a weighted normal and normal auto smooth. And we have that. Let's bring that in and see what it's like there. I'm not sure I like that position exactly, so I'm going to move it a bit. 3D cursor is still there, so let's try mirror there. And all right, we're going to set the origin to the 3D cursor. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I need something central. So let's see what I can do here. Just a circle that goes all the way around it. All right, and then set the origin to the 3D cursor. Should pop them down there. And that's okay. Yeah, all right, so where else do we need them? We need them on the inside here. Okay, so I'm going to come in. Let's take that, Shift D and G, and start dragging it, but P, break it out. So I've got that. And for now, I'm going to turn off the mirror. Drag them down here, make it smaller. I'm really not looking, but okay, good enough. Okay. Let's pull that in. There. And then I'm going to see if I can get a circle maybe all the way around here. Yeah, Shift S cursor to select it, and now I'll take that and I'll set the origin to the 3D cursor. And if I turn the mirror back on, I think I've got them in the right positions. None of those bolts are turned, you know, as they normally would be, but that's probably okay. All right, it's time to get to work, I think, on the oculo part of this. So let's come in here and select that. Okay, now I'm going to make a hole, so I'm going to use a cylinder. I don't mind just going with 32. So I'm going to do that. Rotate X 90. Look in, sorry, wireframe. Just move it over. I'm going to make a slight change to this shape. I realize it's not really that accurate, and so we'll do that here. Push that in a ways. Make sure it's doing that. Let's try that. Try a mirror and see if it looks okay. I think it looks okay. Okay, cool. So I'm going to select the main body, Boolean, drag it to the top, difference, and with the eyedropper select one of those and apply. I'm going to take those and I'm going to hide them. I'm not sure if I need them or not. And let's go in, and I'm going to delete those faces there. And now I'm going to, now we'll bevel first. So select that. You can see I'm getting some extra stuff here, so I gotta be careful about that. And we'll hope that we can bevel. Okay. Control B and pull. Put a few segments in. That's probably okay. It's not the cleanest, but it's fine. Okay, now what I was going to say is we're going to Shift Alt and click that inner edge and this one as well. I'm working on two, so I'm going to switch up to individual origins. Look from the front, go into wireframe, and I'm going to hit S to scale. And I'm going to pull into about there. So I got that region. And then I'm going to come down. So I'm actually going to come up first a little bit, I think. And in fact, I'm actually going to make a flat spot. So I'm going to S to scale, and I'm pushing E, and I'm going to go GY and come back a little ways. Okay, back to the diagram. E and S, and you got to figure out which way to go. Hold Shift, come into there. It's a little off the diagram, I see. That's all right. So I'm just going to make something. All right, so I've come into there. I'm going to come out now. So let's, yeah, come out a little ways. E and S, and I'm going to push to bring it over to here a little bit. And then let's see how far we're off the diagram. Now I've got this part. I'm going to slope down again. E and GY. I'm going to slope down. And I'm also going to press S and pull like that so I get a curve. S, like this. How much do I want? Maybe I come into about there. You can do whatever you want. This part. E and S and push to there. Almost done. Maybe a bit more. E and GY will come back. And is that okay? Is that good enough? No, maybe I got one more to do. All right, let's E and S come in, and then we'll go back. I don't know how realistic that's going to look, but I'm just going to do that. GY, just come back. All right, let's do some beveling. Shift Alt and click some of these sharper edges. And we'll try to do them all together so I can do them on both sides. So I got that one, and I got that one, and this one, and this one. I'm going to go back to median point, I think. Control B and pull. And I just need one edge in there, I think. And we'll get that. And I would be okay with that, except we'll add maybe 3 edge loops there and just click, and 3 edge loops there and just click. Keep those selected, and then come back in here and select these ones. And I'll zoom in on this and Control B, and I'll pull. I'll roll back to 0 and have some spaces, in E and Alt S and push out. All right, and you know, there's nothing underneath there, and so cursor to selected, and I'll bring in a plane, rotate it, and bring it out a bit though, scale it down. A little bit bigger than the size. I'm going to right click, subdivide, and I'm going to choose 5. And 1 for vertex, and then I can select that one and turn to proportional editing and start pulling, roll my mouse forward so I get a curve like this. Okay, I'll Control 1, shade smooth, and then pull that back in to there. Alright, I got that. I'll go back in edit mode and make sure that's off. Okay, and now I need something central here. I think what I'll do is I'll select, I don't know. I don't know. How about these and these? Shift S, cursor to selected. That should pop it right in the middle. And then this thing, mirror that. But set the origin to 3D cursor. So I've got that. All right, cool. So now what I want to do is I want to, again, select something central. Shift S, cursor to selected on one of these. And we'll make the eye cups. Let's see what we can do here. How about we use a curved circle? Haven't done that yet. Scale it down. I'll push it out so we can see what we're doing. And then what I thought I would do is I would pull this one up. Maybe scale it in the Z a little bit. And that might be all right, just like that. Or maybe this one could come back a bit. All right, let's just try that really simply. And go to the curves and change the resolution to say 4 so that I can then convert it to a mesh. Just focus just on that, look from the side. Go into edit mode and select it all. E to extrude and pull it down a decent distance so that this edge right here is like past, so I can then scale Y0, right, like that. Okay, good enough. Select the whole thing, E and Alt S, and I'm going to push it out like that. All right, Control 2, shade smooth, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to Shift Alt and click these edges, and I'm going to bevel, but I'm going to roll back to 0 and just sort of a light bevel, so it's still kind of smooth. Look from the side in wireframe, box select, and X faces. Get rid of those faces, and let's see where we're at with this. Let's try pulling it in and maybe scaling it down. No, I need it wider than that hole. I do need it about that size. It's a little extreme for me, so I'm going to scale this in the Y, scale it back so it's just a little bit less intense there. And let's select something central like that and set the origin to the 3D cursor, and then let's try mirroring that and just seeing how crazy that looks. Okay, I'm just going to hide that for a second. Oh, I gotta get rid of those. And so that's how my curve looks, eh? Okay, let's just scale it in a little bit. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting. In fact, it could be even a little less haunted house, like that applies. All right, okay, maybe something like that. Okay, the dog sneezing behind. All right, so that's good. Let's do the little button that's down here. I got my 3D cursor there, that's okay. So let's do a circle, and let's go for now for 18. Rotate it. G. Something like that. Okay. And for this guy, we're going to E and S and come in, and E and come forward, and we're just going to cap it off, and we're going to take this back and flip anything. Select that face and face selection, Control B, and actually I'm going to let go of Shift and pull it way back, and then roll my mouse up a few times like that. And I'm going to take this edge and Control B, and I only need maybe one segment, and I'm going to Control 1. All right, and GY. See how far off the diagram we are. It's pretty good, actually. 3D cursor's right there, so we should be able to mirror that. Yeah, all right, let's do that. Let's do the text on there, and then we'll move around to the back. So text, where's text? There's text. All right, I think that's the whole front. So we still have more work to do though, of course. All right, so we're going to be looking at doing this stuff here. So let's just get going with this. So I'm going to select that and hide everything else, and Control 1 to look from the back, and go into edit mode and select this back face. I'm going to Shift D and pull it out, P to break it out, go into edit mode again and Control 1, and I'm going to scale it just a little bit. I just don't want it on the edges. All right, and there's an edge right there. And with that done, I'm going to press I to inset and pull in just a little bit, and X faces. That may even be too much, but nah, it's fine. All right, I'm going to extrude it out like this, select it all, Alt N, recalculate outside, and push it in like that. Select the main body, Boolean, drag it to the top, it's on difference, and select that, and apply. Take this and get rid of it. So hopefully we're not going to have too much trouble. I think once we bevel, we may be better off, but I just may have to be very careful going around here and seeing that I don't have anything else selected and that I do have all of it selected. So it is messy, but you know, if you're just careful, it can work out just fine. UV unwrapping is a little bit of a different story. Control B, roll back to 0, 1, 2. All right, I think that looks probably all right for what we're going to do. Okay, so slash key to bring everything else back. It's time to work on this thing here. And so the way I think I'm going to do that is like this. Select this and bring a 3D cursor here, and let's just focus on that for now. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in a cube, I'll pull it back, Control 2, and I'm going to apply that. Now I'm going to focus just on that. I'm going to Shift H and 1 to look from the front. I'm going to go into edit mode, and in face selection, I'm going to select those 4, and I think I'm going to actually Control plus come out. So I've got all those selected there. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press K for the knife tool. I'm going to press, actually, before I do that, I'm going to press 1 so I can see my vertices, and K for the knife tool. I'm going to select this vertex and this one, space bar, and holding Shift, I'm going to click that one to deselect it. Knife tool here, space bar, hold Shift and click that one. So I'm just cutting these apart, space bar, Shift to click that one. This one and this one, space bar, Shift in that one. Then press 3 for face selection. And I'm going to add to my selection those 2 and those 2. So I've got that selected. X faces. Before I do anything else, I'm going to press 1 for vertex mode. Select that one and GG for edge slide and move it about halfway down from where it was. And that's going to be to round it. GG, doesn't matter that much. That. Now, Control 2 and shade smooth, and I'll get this. Before I go any further, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to select this central back vertex and Control plus a couple of times. X faces. I actually want one more god, so Shift Alt and click this X faces. Look from the side, so I have this. Go to edge selection and Shift Alt and click this back edge and SY0 to straighten it. E and S, I'm going to come in just a little bit like that, and I'm going to work with this. All right, so go into edit mode, E and Alt S, and I'm going to push to give it some thickness like that. And then add an edge loop up and down. And I've got what I wanted. I'm going to grab these faces and then Control 3 to look from the other side and grab these faces. So I got them on both sides. I to inset, but oh, it's doing that. Press I again. So I get one solid region. Pull in, loop tool, circle, think I'll go to individual origins and scale it in a bit. I don't want it touching any of the edges. And then E and Alt S and pull. E and Alt S and push. I to inset. E and Alt S and pull. And then an edge loop up and an edge loop down. And now I come to the other side. An edge loop up and an edge loop down. And this is what I did in my other security camera. Alright, so we have that so far. Now, I'm going to take this whole thing, Shift S, cursor to selected, bring the 3D cursor there, Shift A, mesh, UV sphere, and I'm going to go for maybe 20 and 10. And scale it down so that it fits. Rotate X90. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to, I think I'll come out, delete those vertices, and I may have come out a little far, so I might just get rid of that one and come out with that thickness and come out a little ways, and then I'm going to come out wider like that. Okay, I'm going to take the whole thing, hold Shift, scale it a bit bigger. I'm not worried about the back. Just like that. Now I'm going to control, I guess I'll probably do Control 2. And I'm going to bring an edge loop in and this way. And down here. I'm going to roll my mouse up a few times. Control B, roll back to 0. E and Alt S and push. I'm going to slash key to bring, actually Alt H. Let's bring everything back and take both of these and push them in. And I'm pushing it actually far into the body because this is what I'm doing here. All right. So that, okay. So it doesn't need to be too long. I'm going to select just both of those and slash key and look from the side. Okay, now I can take this stuff and I can pull it back a little bit and say, okay, maybe I want it to be about there. Okay, we'll come back to this in a bit. So I'm going to come over here, select this, and I'm going to pull it out. And let's see, how about we just E and S and come out like this, and E and come in, we'll come down here, and another edge loop there, and another edge loop up. Let's just focus just on this, Shift H, and have a look at putting an edge loop here. And then I think I'm going to have just bolts on top of that. So that part's okay, so let's Alt H to bring that stuff back. Let's have a look at this now. Let's see if we can, what we want to do here. I want to extrude it out a little bit, scale it down maybe, and maybe put an edge loop here. Maybe we can put one in here and still get that cutaway. Don't want it too sharp. You could probably do that. I will take this, pull it back a little bit more, and I will take this edge and GG. I'll slide it back a little bit more. So we'll have that shape. And then we're going to bring in another circle. I'll just go for 18. And actually, yeah, I'll have a subdivision. That's fine. Okay, rotate X90. Okay, can't see anything at this point. So let's just focus on both of those. And look from the front. This is what I want. I'll scale it out. Like that. This part would attach to the wall. Scale it a bit. Scale to almost touch in. You don't even have to close it really, but I will. I have to make a face. Let's just recalculate outside. We'll go ahead and put on 2, subdivision of 2. And we'll come in here, and we'll drop another edge loop there. And let's back up a little ways, and 3 for face selection and C for paint select. And just select that. Yeah, I used a bad number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I put it there, I get 2 and 3. Yeah, whatever. I'll stagger these bolts. Yeah, whatever. Probably shouldn't have used 18. I probably should have used 20 or something. Scale it in. Right click, circle, switch to individual origins and S to scale. And pull it in so that it's not overlapping any edges. So scale it in a bit more. Switch back to median point and S to scale and pull it up. And I'm going to have to zoom in here. Scale like that. I'm going to go back to individual origins and S to scale. And then back to median point, S to scale. So I just want it in between this one and this one. I'd inset a little bit. Get rid of those faces. I'll recalculate outside if I need to. Let's see. I'll give it some thickness like this. And I'll bring in edge loops up and down. And you see how dark it looks? It's because it's flipped. Alt-N, recalculate outside. Okay, so those bolts are staggered. That's fine. I mean, I could rotate this if I wanted to, but I don't care. So let's see how she's looking here. Don't forget to save. Yeah, almost done, eh? I'll show you how this thing would rotate after. All right, let's just do this. Assuming that this is making contact, and it is. And then I like this, and I'm not missing anything because I'm forgetting to look at the diagram here. Just bullets, and yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so then let's do this. Let's hide these references for now. Find some bullets like this one, and just Shift D and pull it back. P and break it out. Make sure we got those. Let's get rid of the mirror, and let's rotate X 180. Control 1 to look from the back. Okay, this is going to be a little bit. I'm going to have to focus just on that back plate here. Just want to push that roughly into place. Period key to zoom in. Do this. There we go. Okay, let's see that. Let me get the ball. Now, let's just focus Shift H on that. Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, we can see that. Okay, and I'm just gonna position it where I want. I want to spin this. I'm gonna put it back on this for now. I'm not sure if I absolutely need to do that or not, but it seems to be the way that it works for me. It's non-manifold geometry or something. I don't know, but I'm gonna do it, and that's that. I'm not gonna worry about that. So I should be okay. So let's try this. Spin in the Y, pull it around 360 and what? 8. So we don't go too much. That's merge and flip if necessary. Save. Alt H. Okay. You could cut off the rest of that ball if you wanted to. Let's have a look at seeing how this would rotate. I've got a central circle here, so I'm going to Shift S, cursor to selected, and I'm going to switch to 3D cursor. Alt H, bring that back. Let's see how well this works. Now, I got the references there. Let's see, select everything. Okay, I don't want to select this or this. I want those to be stable. So I'm going to move that to a new collection and call that, I don't know, joint. So we got that. And the rest of everything, except I don't seem to have this stuff for some reason. I'm missing a little bolt there. Well, let's just go with this. Let's make this a new collection and call this the scanner. Let's make sure we got most of everything. What, do we not get that in the scanner? Come on. That's pretty important. All right, grab everything, move, scanner. So all we have stable is going to be that. Okay, just before we'll go ahead and do it. Okay, so I'm going to select the scanner. Look from the side. I got 3D pivot there. Let's try this. Rotate in the X. Or even just rotate probably would be fine. Not that you would need to rotate it too much. And just see how it holds up. Alright, so if this thing was on the wall, you could do that. Or we could rotate upwards. Okay, so that's generally how that would go, at least in my mind. Okay. Just want to double check something. Yeah, okay. All right, so what I was saying we missed was just the final touch, I hope, is right here. Shift S, cursor selected. Shift A, mesh, circle. 16. Scale it down. Rotate X90. Have to make a face. We'll bring that stuff back again. One last time. Scale it down. Okay. Little bolt there. And then extrude back. Just the simplest thing you have ever seen in your whole life. Bevel once or twice. Shade smooth. It's so small I don't need to subdivide that. Just have it there. And then choose something central like that. Bring the 3D cursor there. And take this little guy and mirror on the wall. And if it doesn't go, make sure you set the origin to the 3D cursor. And we've got it there. And it is in scanner. Right? Okay. Now you could take this joint and put it in there as well. And then I'll hide that. And actually, before I go anywhere else, I want to have just a quick look at this. Am I missing anything obvious? Bolts and text, the eye things. I don't care about this little indent. Those things. So bolts. All right. Let's assume that was it. All right. I'm going to Shift C to bring a 3D cursor back there, and Shift A, collection instance scanner. And hopefully I got everything. And I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to rotate Z. Switch back to medium point, and it'll rotate Z. I just want a few of these around so I can have fun with looking at it from different orientations. I'm going to Alt-R to reset the rotation and rotate in the X. And we'll come back like this and rotate the Z now. And let's see. Yeah, we're just positioning a few of these things for. I'll make this one. No, I won't. Yeah. Just set up a little scene so you can see it. In different orientations. Control plus. Turn that off. And that is what we have. T to hide that. There we go. And there is our eye scanner. That was a lot of fun. Took us a little while, but it wasn't hard. Anyways, that's going to be it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you thought that was cool. And we'll see you next time.